So the simple act of going to the gym consistently for almost the past 9 years now has changed my life forever. From a low self-esteem, skinny kid who never felt like he fit in, didn't really know who he was, to TylerPath, someone despite having stats of 5'6", 135 pounds, is confident and doesn't struggle with body dysmorphia. And I think that last part is unique as someone who's a part of the fitness industry. So here's my fitness journey and honestly my life story as they're kind of combined. And in explaining my life story, I hope my message inspires or resonates with someone watching. There's over 500,000 of y'all now, which I'm super grateful for. And I felt like I've never really explained, who I am, who's the guy making these faces. So buckle up, here's my fitness journey. And it all starts in middle school. So we're going way back. Take a sip. So my origin story really begins in middle school. Growing up, I was kind of an insecure kid. For one thing, I was the only child, so socially, I always felt like a little bit awkward. Physically, I was a very skinny kid. And I remember at its worst, there was a period of time where I only wore long sleeves to hide my skinny wrists, which was kind of like the biggest thing for me. See, I can literally put my pinky around my wrist to this day. So on top of having low self-esteem for myself, I always felt a little bit upset about my circumstances. I've spoken a little bit about this before, but basically growing up, I always felt like I was like the poorest out of all my friends. And this really began when I was 11 years old and my parents had to foreclose their home and we moved into like a small little apartment building. All the while, I would hear from my friends that they got a new house or their parents paid off their house and they're super excited. At that age, you can't help but think to yourself, like, why me? But thinking back, despite everything, I'm grateful that happened because don't get me wrong, I was embarrassed, I was jealous, I was mad, but I also felt like a fire was lit under me. And moving forward, I felt like I couldn't take my life for granted. That no matter what, however long it takes, one day, I will get my parents out of this situation. This is what I thought about as an 11-year-old child. To me, that moment turned on a switch. And knowing that I was an only child, I knew I couldn't take my life for granted and I had to make a change. So I started trying at whatever I could, which at that time was school. But outside of school, I didn't do a single extracurricular activity. I didn't do any clubs, I didn't play any sports, I didn't play any instruments. Not until I was 13 years old was when I signed up for track and field. Now, if you're a parent or maybe you're in middle school or high school, track and field is one of the best sports you can join because it is fundamentally a self-development based sport. You are entirely in control of your own performance except for relays. And because most of my friends did sprints, I was like, yeah, let me do sprints as well. And naturally, I was pretty good at it. Partly because I think I just tried very, very hard at it. And it was the first time where a physical activity gave me an outlet to just like really put my entire soul into something, right? And to see that I was actually pretty decent at it was great. It gave me a little small sense of pride, which I took into high school. And that was pretty much the first time ever in my life that I had something like that. So middle school was the origin of my core values and beliefs. Life was hard, and in order to make life better, I had to do something about it. That's basically what it was. Now moving on to high school. Freshman year, I had a pretty good season, and I had a pretty promising future in track and field. And then sophomore year rolled by, and I did not improve at all. And this pissed me off a lot. So I paid attention to the people that actually improved, and I saw the one big difference between them and me was that they did another sport outside of track and field, or they joined a strength camp during the summer. Either way, they did something in the off season to actually help them for track and field. So I knew I had to make a change. Now, I knew I didn't want to do another sport, and I sure as hell couldn't afford a $1,000 strength camp like the other kids can. So what I did was, the pivotal summer of 2015, I decided to start going to the gym. And this truly marked the beginning of my fitness journey. Now I remember that first summer, every single day, me and my friend Michael, we would walk to our apartment gym, which was a pretty small gym. It had a couple benches, dumbbells going up to 60 pounds, a Smith machine, and a couple like random machines, but no barbell or anything. And for the first 3 months, that was pretty much all I was working with. Now, I knew that I couldn't just be doing random stuff in the gym. I had an understanding of, okay, I need to I need to follow some sort of workout routine. So what I did was I would go on YouTube and be like, okay, what do I want to train today? Chest workout, back workout, shoulder workout, leg workout. And for the first month and a half that summer, I was just experimenting with different workouts, looking at stuff on YouTube, and eventually I was able to kind of create and jumble together my own bro split workout. And at the time, my top priority was strength training to get faster for track and field. So the split I did was a bro split with a leg day in between every single workout. So it would be chest, legs, shoulder, legs. And it's crazy thinking because, we were all beginners at one point in time. And I know the feeling of being nervous when someone walks in the gym and, not really knowing what you're doing. But I always thought to myself, Tyler, you got nothing to be embarrassed about, because as long as you keep on going, keep trying hard, show up every single day, you will eventually get to your dream physique. And I really carried that energy all throughout high school. And then on the nutrition side, I knew that I wanted to stay lean in order to be competitive for track and field. So I never bulked, which thank God I didn't do it. Instead, I focused on increasing my protein intake, eating vegetables, as well as eating a lot of complex carbohydrates, so brown rice, potatoes, that sort of thing. And then I went the more over-restrictive route and avoided all junk food and soda. And admittedly, I'll get into this later, kind of almost led me to developing an eating disorder, but I'll get into that. But yeah, I remember those early days where, I get a little bit nervous when someone else would walk into the gym. But at the end of the day, I always thought to myself that, despite me being 115, 120 pounds, small kid, I knew that, Tyler, you got nothing to be embarrassed about. If you continue to put in the work, if you can show up every single day, put your blood, sweat, and tears into this, you will eventually get to your dream physique. No matter how long it takes, I was so committed, so I didn't let nerves or embarrassment get the best of me. And overall, that first year and a half came at a really foundational time in my life, because when I think back now, it was the beginning of me adopting a growth mindset, which I then applied to different areas of my life. Because the thing about fitness is it's very tangible, right? Because I essentially proved to myself that no matter how skinny I was, no matter where you're starting at, I was still able to make a change. And ultimately, that gave me confidence. And not only about my physique and everything, but because I was still a little bit self-conscious about acne, and my life wasn't perfect, of course. But it gave me the confidence to actually try new things. And one way that I did this was during college applications. I was applying for UC Irvine and UCLA. And basically one of the college essay prompts was something along the lines of, what is something you always wanted to try but never did? And for me, I always liked singing. I'm pretty sure I liked singing before I liked working out. But it was something that I hid from others, right? I would only sing in the shower. I never played an instrument or did any music. But for my college essay, I was screw it. I put my neck on the line and I was look, I'm gonna upload a YouTube video of me doing a song cover. And that YouTube video is actually the first YouTube video on my channel. So it's still up to this day. You guys can check it out. It's from back in 2016. But the funny thing is I got rejected from UCLA, but I got into UC Irvine, but I ended up going to UIUC, which marks the third arc of my fitness journey. So with my newfound confidence, pretty much throughout college, I took the time to kind of explore new things. I wasn't running track and field anymore, so it was the first time I changed my split from that, leg day focused bro split to something else. And I think at the time, what I was doing was a rolling 4-day bro split where it was kind of like an Arnold split where I did chest and back first day, then cardio, then shoulders, then arms, and then legs, and then back to chest and back. And I had that rolling, 5-day split. I tried Muay Thai, I tried joining track club, but nothing really stick past freshman year. I essentially discovered I'm more of the lone wolf type when it comes to extracurricular activities. So working out was pretty much my only fitness priority in college. And my focus shifted from strength training to track and field to chasing aesthetics. But with college came my first obstacle that I faced in my fitness journey, which was the temptations of food and alcohol and partying. Now in general, I'm not a big party guy, but freshman year, I definitely was trying to be someone I wasn't. Because at this point in time, while I was confident in some areas, I still felt like I cared a lot about other people's opinion. So I would join things I didn't want to be a part of. And I actually remember struggling to make friends my freshman year. So in the dining hall, I would just eat a lot of food. And I got the most chungus I ever was which I didn't like. Now looking back at this photo, I definitely think I had some sort of body dysmorphia because I thought I was much fatter than I am looking back at this. But with me getting to slightly higher of a body fat than what I liked, sophomore year rolled by and I decided to cut all partying, cut all the clubs I was involved with, and basically enter what I called my hermit phase, where I focused purely on self-development as well as, unfortunately, trying to get as lean as possible. And I did it in like the worst way possible. What I did was I essentially slashed my calories to 1,500 calories, plus cardio. Now I definitely developed a lot of discipline during this time. I remember waking up at like 5:45 a.m. to get to the gym that opened at 6 a.m. But because I was an RA and lived at a dorm that was on the other side of campus, pretty much opposite to the gym that I usually wanted to go to, I had to walk there every morning. On top of that, at the time, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do like after college. So overall, it was kind of like an unhappy time in my life. I wasn't depressed, but I definitely was kind of like a grouch. But ultimately, when it came to like mental health and me dieting super hard, this was probably the closest I've been to developing an eating disorder. I remember on multiple cases, I would have these weekly cheat days, right? Because I'm eating 1,500 calories throughout the week, and then every Saturday I'd have a cheat day. I would essentially just binge eat during that cheat day. And there were times where like I'd be so full and I felt like I wanted to throw up. And I even remember one pivotal day where after I had dinner with my parents, like I was like considering just like making myself throw up because I felt guilty about the extra calories I was eating. Overall though, I'm super glad I never did because I hate throwing up in the first place. But looking back, it was definitely like, man, I was very, very close to kind of going the wrong path, right? Because I think the ugly side of fitness is sometimes we get too wrapped up into wanting to be perfect when at the end of the day, sometimes it's just not healthy for you to do that. But the good thing that came out of my hermit phase, my sophomore year of college, came second semester when I decided to start uploading YouTube videos. Now, my early YouTube videos was just me basically recording my cheat days. And to be completely honest, it's a little bit hard to watch, not because I'm embarrassed about the quality of the video and me like stuttering and stuff, but some of the videos you can definitely see this was literally me recording myself binge eat. But ultimately this ED-induced cut I was doing lasted for around like 5 months. I remember I stopped around May of 2019 where I then begun reverse dieting back up. And then the most tragic thing happened and I broke my finger. Now this was the worst injury I've ever had in my life. It put me out for roughly 8 weeks on paper, but I started going back to the gym after week 6. And basically the injury was a freak accident. Like I dropped a pair of dumbbells, it bounced off the ground and it clipped my finger under the dumbbell rack, which fractured the tip of my finger. But because the injury was so localized to my right finger, throughout that time I was still training my left side because I saw somewhere that if you train unilaterally on the side you're able to, it actually helps you retain muscle on the other side. So as soon as my finger was healthy, I bounced back, started grinding super hard in the gym again. This is where I realized that, wow, like muscle memory plays a big role because to a comparable physique by like November of 2019, which was only 3 months after my finger healed. And during this time, no, I still did not bulk. I finally was able to get out of my hermit phase once I secured my first internship in college. And while now again, I considered the temptations of, partying with my friends, eating out with my friends, the key thing was I was doing it with my friends and it made me realize how much I should value relationships. Because during my hermit phase, it was all me, right? It was all like me being a lone wolf, me being a Sigma male, and just doing everything by myself. But junior year of college was really where I found my true group of friends. And overall, it was probably my favorite year of college. And because I started valuing things outside of fitness, I started caring less ultimately about how lean I was, and while I still had strength goals and I was still pushing myself hard in the gym and wanting to make progress, this time I was able to draw a line and know, okay, this is good for my mental health and this is not. So junior year was going good. I was still uploading YouTube videos of random stuff. I think I was covering Andrew Yang or something like that during the time. And then 2020 happened, and the big thing that shocked the world happened. And it's crazy because I remember coming home from spring break, expecting to go back to college the next week, but that never happened because we went on lockdown in Chicago. And now I was stuck at home, no gyms were open, school was online, and luckily my classes were quite easy. And also at the time, I stopped talking to like a girl that I was talking to. So long story short, I had a lot of time on my hands and a lot of stuff I was thinking about. And then on top of that, at the time, a platform known as TikTok started getting a lot of mainstream popularity in the US. And I'm like, maybe I should start uploading there, because at this point I had roughly about a year of consistently uploading on YouTube, which by the way, I probably wouldn't have the willpower to do if it wasn't for me going to the gym and building that discipline. So that's another way that the gym impacted my life. So I thought to myself, why not start uploading on TikTok? And I thought to myself, like, Tyler, what is something to this day you still haven't done but you always wanted to do? And it always came back to fitness. Whether teaching people about fitness, talking about my fitness journey, or just documenting it so I can inspire other people. I remember watching the likes of like Steve Cook, Six Pack Shortcuts, so Mike Chang from Six Pack Shortcuts, David Lade, Stephen Cowell, all these like OG fitness influencers. And I'm like, at this point I've been training for roughly 5.5 years, and I spent a lot of time and dedication at the craft and learning and researching. Why have I not been uploading fitness content from the beginning? And it was this sheer determination that I learned from the gym to upload 3 times per day for the almost past 4 years now that has really taught me and gave me the confidence that, if you put your mind to something and you're consistent with it and you have that determination, anything is possible. And I came to the epiphany that the most important thing about going to the gym consistently isn't necessarily what you get out of it physically, as it is what you get out of it mentally. The discipline you learn, the confidence that you develop trickles down to other areas of your life. And it's that trickle down effect that really can change your life in a very positive way. And is what I ultimately wish for every single person watching this. I want this to happen for everyone. Because I know that there's someone watching this out there who's brighter than me, who has more opportunities, who maybe needs a fire lit under their butt more so than I did, that might be struggling with their fitness goals and maybe considering quitting. And I would tell you that you do not want to quit on your fitness goals. This is something that you want to pursue for the rest of your life. It is worth it, and that's kind of what the message of this video is and what I want you guys to take away from my life story. So this is like the 3rd time I record this video, and I know it's never going to be perfect, but I really want to deliver this in a way that inspires you to, no matter what, keep on going to the gym. That's like the message, right? Make that commitment with me, guys. No matter what, no matter if you don't see progress, no matter if you're tired, always get back to your fitness goals. Always spend time going to the gym, and it will tremendously benefit your life. I vouch for all the people in my coaching program that have also made a body transformation like this, that I am not the only one that has had fitness benefit me in other ways. What you get out of life is based off the decisions that you make in life, and making the decision to pursue your fitness goals indefinitely is one that you'll never regret. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you want to join the fam and level up your physique. Hit like to support my page. And without further ado, I will definitely see you guys on the next one. Promise me that. Peace.